What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and I'm coming to you with another video. Yes, I have adopted Jeremy's catchphrase because now that I'm working for Geeks and Gamers, I'm going to do things the Geeks and Gamers way, including the intro. So I hope you all enjoy that. Today we are going to be talking about Star Wars. Big surprise there, right? So I was listening to the High Council the other night with Ethan, Jeff, and Jeremy, and in it they announced the rumor about Kathleen Kennedy already being fired, and then they're going to do it nicely and just say that she's stepping down, and it's going to be announced in September. And it's rumored that in September her replacement is going to be announced to be Carrie Hart. Not gonna lie, I didn't know who this woman was. I was in college when Lucasfilms got sold from George over to Disney. I remember being in class and my heart breaking, but I was in college, so I was more concerned with, studying and drawing and getting everything done, and I wasn't as kept up to date on Star Wars news. I do know the big names, but apparently this woman's name wasn't big enough for me to know, so yeah. Didn't know who this woman was. And then I just, immediately after they said that, Ethan and Jeff and Jeremy were like, oh god, that's like the worst news ever. And I was like, okay, if these three dudes think that this woman is worse than Kathleen Kennedy, which is very, very hard to do, this woman's got to be pretty damn bad. So I used that amazing tool called Google to find out who the heck this woman was. And I'm just starting my research, so forgive me, but I read one article and I'm already annoyed just reading this. This lady, she went to college in Stanford and she does writing, and apparently she produced a few of the Star Wars movies, which just happened to be, I believe, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and she did a couple things from Rebels. And I just looked at that and I was like, okay, she worked on Rogue One and The Last Jedi. I'm already not impressed with this lady. Already. I'm just like, you know what? I wouldn't be bragging about working on those movies. Just saying, the art for it is cool, but she's in the story department and I'm not too fond of those stories. If you want to see my full review on that, you can go over to my channel, or you can watch the other videos I've done here on Geeks and Gamers. I'm very, very vocal about how I feel about these new movies, and yeah, I wouldn't want to put my name on that. Just saying. So I'm reading this article. I will attach it. I'm sorry, in my last couple of videos I don't do the attaching the articles, but this one I will, and I have the link saved. It's on my phone. I'll make sure that it's in the description. But I typed in her name and then I clicked on the news so I could see what was going on with this lady. And one of the first ones that popped up was this article from the New York Times. I'm like, okay, I'll read an article from the New York Times. And I'm reading it, and just every paragraph, I'm just cringing more and more. So this lady was brought in by Kathleen Kennedy, and she's supposed to be part of the big story department. Okay, I get it. In retrospect, thinking back before these horrible excuses for Star Wars movies, which aren't Star Wars movies, were released, there was the high hopes that, Kathleen Kennedy was actually going to do good for Star Wars. She's bringing in this new group of story writers. They're going to change everything, and they're going to stay true to the characters and what George Lucas created. That was their intention. So this lady, she's got a nice resume. She went to Stanford. She's a woman of color, and they're going to have this group of women that want to write strong female characters. In theory, great idea. I don't see really what her race has to do with anything, but they made a thing about it in the article. I mean, talent doesn't come with race. It's just a thing. So I was like, okay. Knowing now the knowledge that I know, looking back, I'm like, oh, this is just leading up to a really, really bad idea. So I read on. And it's talking about how these girls were having a little picnic around a campfire, talking about how they want to write strong female characters. Again, in theory, great idea. I don't know why you guys all have to chill around a campfire and talk about heroes. I mean, yeah, when you sit around a campfire, you talk about stories. But when me and my friends sit around a campfire and talk about stories, it's usually good freaking stories. But apparently, their idea of good stories is characters like Rey, and characters like Rose Tico, and characters like Admiral Hodo. I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. Hodo, purple hair, mega bitch lady. Not a fan of her. Not a fan of any of these new female characters. And their defense was that they wanted to write strong female characters. Alright, I'm in a different setup today because I got my art books behind me and some of my DVDs. Now, this woman went to Stanford. Now, that is a very prestigious school. And coming from there, I would have a lot more faith in this woman in the creative department to write good female characters. So, I'm just going to pull out some of my movies that I have here. And of course, I'm going to go for one of my favorite movies that is not Star Wars, Silence of the Lambs. Now, this movie has a very strong female character. And in this article, this woman apparently said that she liked Princess Leia for the things that she was doing, but she wanted to make a more relatable female character, a very strong, relatable female character. And Princess Leia didn't have enough lines, apparently, and Princess Leia, you don't really relate to her, apparently, because she's too quiet, and she's in this other universe, so we need someone relatable. Exhibit Silence of the Lambs. Yes, this movie's a bit dated now because we're, in this new age of texting and internet, and this was written a while ago, but I have watched this movie almost as much as I have watched Star Wars, and I have read the book, I think, over 100 times. This is my favorite movie aside from Star Wars and my favorite book. I love The Silence of the Lambs because the characters are so well written, and it was the best movie of the year that nobody thought was going to be a big hit, but it was. And it's because the characters were written so well, and they are extremely relatable characters. You look at Clarice Starling. What is she? She's an attractive woman that is working, that keeps getting bashed on for being a woman, and she has to go the extra mile to prove herself. And she is able to hold her ground against this amazing villain. Yes, I mean, you wouldn't say that Hannibal Lecter is an amazing person, but as a villain, holy crap, that guy was in the movie for less than 20 minutes. You want to talk about not having any lines in a movie? Hannibal Lecter, not even in half the movie, is still one of the most feared villains of all time. And because of Clarice being such a strong character and being able to go one-on-one with Hannibal Lecter. And yes, she's in the entire movie, aside from the scenes with Buffalo Bill until she gets there. And she's able to hold her ground with him. Like, come on, that is a very strong, relatable woman in our time period. Of course, the newer generation isn't going to understand some of it, but this is still a movie that watching it, it's like, wow, this woman is intelligent. This woman is athletic. This woman is strong and independent, and she puts up with this bullshit that's going on because, there's sexism going on in the workplace, and she's having to overcome that. She even tells her superior that what he did by secluding her from the situation because she was a woman was wrong, and that people look up to him, and him doing that made it look okay to do that to women. And she didn't care. She told him the way that she was feeling. And then you have Princess Leia, who, she goes into the Death Star. She's captured. She still stays strong. She's up against Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader, and she's like, you know what? Yes, you guys are about to destroy my planet. You're going to do it whether or not I give you the right information. So she gives them the wrong information that does it enough, and they still destroy her planet, and she still holds strong. Someone even said that they didn't like the fact that Princess Leia didn't cry, and that doesn't make her a real woman. Are you kidding me? No. She was in the cell for all the time she was before Luke and Han got there. Yeah, she could have done her crying right there. She's not going to show them that they are breaking her. They already know the damage that they did they destroyed an entire planet. So how dare you say that just because Princess Leia didn't have enough lines, that she is not a relatable character, and that you need to make these other women. And the other women that you created are not relatable. They're horrible characters. And you using that excuse that you wanted to make it more diverse, go watch a movie. Honestly, I literally just pulled, well, of course I have this, but come on. This movie was made in the 90s. It's not rocket science. I mean, this book was written in the 80s. It's not rocket science. How to write a good character. You went to Stanford. You should know that. I have a ton of movies here. Okay, let's look at this one. Pride and freaking Prejudice. Yes, it's a chick flick. Amazing female character. Yes, it's a romantic movie. This movie was written back in the Victorian era. You want to look at a strong female character? Look at Elizabeth Bennet. She's in the entire freaking movie and book. She's got more lines than anyone. And guess what? She's strong and she's relatable. She has to deal with not just the fact that she's a woman having to deal with the struggles in life. She's having to deal with social standards of people of different rankings due to income. And she's, I mean, it's not clear that she's in love with him until the end from everyone else's perspective, but the fact that she's poor and that she has to get married before her father passes, or else she's basically going to be at the mercy of her crazy cousin. And then she's got the guy who's the rich, good-looking, handsome guy, but he's kind of a douche. Come on, relatable. Very, very relatable. Struggling with money, struggling with social status. Lots of freaking lines. And you say that you can't write a relatable character? Oh my god, come on. Even if they can do it in chick flicks, but you can't do it in Star Wars. It baffles me. I'm just gonna pull up freaking Star Wars. This isn't even the movie. This is like the bonus thing. Okay. You want to talk about women in Star Wars. You want to go off and talk about Princess Leia. You already bashed on Princess Leia. Okay, let's go talk about Padme, okay? Because Padme, I think they did a real disservice in the prequels because she starts off as a very, very strong character. She is a queen. You don't find that out until the end of The Phantom Menace, but she's in hiding. She's in disguise. She's having to survive. She's 14 years old. She stands up to Qui-Gon, a Jedi Knight, even when she knows she has no status because she's, a handmaiden, and he doesn't know that she's the actual queen. And she just straight up tells him, you're like, bro, we can't rely on a kid to solve our problems. And he's like, yeah, well, the queen's not going to know. And she's like, holy crap, bro, if you even knew who I was right now. Guess what? She's in hiding. She's got a fear for her freaking life. And she still stays strong. She goes, she fights. She's not just a queen that's going to sit there and let everyone do everything for her. She goes out and she gets stuff done. Then in, the Attack of the Clones, it's kind of like a romance story. But even then, half the time she's telling Anakin, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then she's telling the whole Jedi Council, stop it. I just want to be here and I want to be fighting for my people and I want to be fighting for their rights. And it's not fair, this war that's going on. She's a very passionate politician. And then in the last one, it kind of goes on a downfall because, she's pregnant, she's emotional, and all the stuff that's going on in her relationship. But if you watch the Clone Wars, the series, you can see her character develop even more. So I didn't like the way that she was handled. I thought they did a very disservice to her character, but I understand it from the emotional aspect that they wanted to make that more powerful when Anakin does turn on her because she loves him so much. So they didn't show her during her average work day. They showed her just thinking about her husband and about focusing on her pregnancy and her unborn children that she doesn't know she's going to have too. But yeah. Relatable character, working, expecting a child, relationship problems. She does have a decent amount of lines. And you want to say that you don't like the fact that women aren't as prominent in Star Wars. Well, guess what? It only takes one woman in a Star Wars movie to make a difference. Princess Leia was basically the only main woman in the original Star Wars. She didn't need every single line to make a difference. This just reminds me of how William Shatner didn't want Spock to have more lines because he didn't want Spock to be more popular than him. So you're trying to overcompensate for something that doesn't need to be overcompensated for, because Princess Leia doesn't need the more lines to be more powerful of a character. She's got the great one-liners, and it's done. And there you go. That's Princess Leia. She doesn't need to be there saying monologues. She doesn't need there to be crashing into Finn and then be like, oh, we need to save the things we love, and kissing at the most inappropriate times. No! Princess Leia would be getting shit done. And then you try, in this article, it says that they fought for the Ahsoka character, and then slyly puts in that George Lucas created. Okay, so you didn't even create this character, and you're trying to fight for her, and then Dave Filoni was the one that did everything with her, but then they're trying to give this other woman and her team the credit for Ahsoka? No, Dave Filoni did that. George Lucas created her, and Dave Filoni made her what she was, and made her that strong, relatable character because she grows. None of the characters that you created grew. They just were there and pushed in our faces, and we don't want it. So I'm going to do more research on this woman. I don't agree with already, just from one article, what I've read on this woman's views, and I'm not looking forward to reading more because it just sucks knowing that the people that are in charge of Star Wars and that are so-called fans of Star Wars don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the characters. They don't understand them like we do. And it's absolutely heartbreaking that they're just going to try to push these identity politics and social justice warrior ideals into it, because that's not what Star Wars is. If you want to create your own characters and this own movement, make your own movie about it. Why are you going to take something that already exists, that already has this fan base, that already has these characters? Why are you going to take it and wreck it? You want to do these movies called Star Wars stories? Great. Do it on the other side of the galaxy where they're dealing with other stuff. Don't bring in these main characters and then ruin them because you don't understand them. You don't understand storytelling. And it sucks that me, a person that went to freaking art school, and yes, I did do a lot of, I'm obsessed with reading and storytelling, so I do understand the art of it, and I did study it. It wasn't my main focus. Drawing concept art was. And me being able to understand that, and you, an executive at Lucasfilms, not, that's really freaking sad. I shouldn't be having to tell you this. You are in a higher position than I am. I'm just a girl that draws and sits here and talks about Star Wars. And I'm the one that has to tell you these things. It makes absolutely no sense. However it is that you came to this position of power, I don't understand it. You might have had a great resume and that got you places, but you are going to bring this great company that George Lucas created crashing down. And it sucks. I don't want to see that. I want you to be successful, and I want Star Wars to be successful. Every Star Wars fan wants that, but it's not. Look at what happened with The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson completely disrespected the fans and betrayed the characters, and the things that he did to Luke were absolutely unforgivable, and he is a pathetic excuse for a human being. I don't know if I can say that about you. Again, I have to research you more, but I don't understand how someone as educated as you, someone that is in this big business, how you could see your things failing and continue with it and continue to believe that it's a good idea and continue to defend it, and then at the same time insult your fans. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm not going to put up with you telling fans that they are bigots and they are sexist and trying to use your employees to go out and attack people. I'm not okay with that. That is wrong. You are an adult. We are all adults here. So act like an adult. Have a civil conversation. Don't go out and call names, because that already shows that you are losing. Okay? Carrie, I do not want you to fail. The only way you will not fail is if you stay true to what Star Wars was. Okay? I feel like I have more to say, but like I said, I don't know that much about this woman. I need to do more research. But reading this article, I felt compelled to make this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I will be making more with the more information that I'm going to learn. And I already am expecting not to like what I read, but I'm hopeful that I can find some good in this person because I really, really want Star Wars to succeed. And these horrible things that they have done, I hope that the new person that's in charge can do something to save it because I don't want to see Star Wars die. I don't. And I know none of you folks want to either. It's just sad and upsetting. But I don't know what to do anymore aside from try to get the message out there. And yeah. So that's what I had to say about this woman. I'm already not liking it. On a different note, I hope you guys enjoyed that live stream that I did with Jessie Milestone from Mindless Entertainment. We're going to try to do more of them since she and we live like an hour or two away from each other. So we're going to try to do more together. I'm trying to work on one, seeing if we can do one on Monday. And I know that a lot of you live around the world, and me and Jessie live in the Pacific Standard Time Zone since we both live in California. And so if we do it at 2 p.m., I know it's going to be very late for others. So we're going to try to do it kind of earlier in the day so that way you guys can all catch it. So I hope you guys tune into that. And I am going to be doing more work for this channel. I need to get better at doing consistent videos. I'm just so busy with my work schedule, and I'm going to be doing some more for my channel, so I hope you guys tune into that. It's over at That Star Wars Girl. If you guys have any more information about this woman, or you have things that I should see, just tag me in it on Twitter. My tag is at That Star Wars Girl, just no I in the word girl. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone at Geeks and Gamers. May the Force be with you.